story of so many soldiers. This is the story of my father. My father was a young man with a wife and a baby when he received a letter in the mail notifying him that he was being called to serve in the Army. It was World War II. He was 24 years old and lived in Waterloo, New York. Unlike others being called to duty, he faced the unknown battlefield far away from his home. And his family, leaving behind all that he knew and loved, with no idea about what he was about to endure. He boarded the ship Queen Mary with many other patriotic young men, going to foreign lands they had never seen, equipped with weapons they had just learned to use. The troops got off the ship in Scotland and later reached France. They then walked for 12 days to reach the Hürtgen Forest in Germany. The Battle of the Hürtgen Forest began on September 19, 1944. There has been little notice of this battle in the history books, yet it was described as the worst of the worst. After 2 weeks of fighting, all of the officers in the rifle company battling in the Hürtgen Forest had been killed or wounded. And so my father and his U.S. Army 14th Infantry 12th Regiment Charlie Company were the next replacements. It was a bitter, fierce battle in a cold, dark forest. Accounts of the battle are still difficult to hear or comprehend. During the fierce fighting, my father sustained bullet wounds in his arm, shrapnel wounds in his back. He was the sole survivor of the 12th Regiment Charlie Company. He was captured by the German Army and marched, wounded, for miles to a prisoner of war camp. Conditions in a prisoner of war camp are so horrible, one would wonder how someone would actually survive. Eating bread made out of sawdust was some of the only food offered to prisoners. He endured the horrible conditions of that prison camp by thinking of those he loved, his wife and young baby, those he was living to get back to. As more prisoners arrived from other battles, he began helping those frightened young men and women around him in any way he could. He would try very hard to get some of the other prisoners who were refusing to eat by helping them to visualize and to see in their minds their favorite foods and their favorite places back home and who they would be eating that food with and how they would be preparing that food. He developed a support group with other prisoners where they talked about their favorite sports team, his beloved games. He would sit and listen to other prisoners' worries and stories, hiding his own fears to help calm the fears of others. He knew that in the midst of this horrible nightmare, in this desolate prisoner of war camp, sick and weakened, he needed to stay positive, to keep his mind active, and to keep his faith strong as he prayed for his strength to survive. Daniel did survive. He was liberated from the prison camp and returned home on a hospital ship. He was hospitalized for 6 months after his return. His weight had gone from 198 pounds to 127 pounds. His diet consisted of straight baby food. The story of this soldier, my father, was never told until about 6 years ago. He, like so many World War II veterans, returned from battle to lives they longed for, stealing away the memories and wanting to protect others from the terrible experiences of the war. Our Memorial Day message is clear in our soldier's story. Throughout my father's captivity, he maintained a sense of hope and optimism for the future, a hopefulness that no matter how desperate his situation became, allowed him to persevere. His values and priorities became clearly etched into his heart. During those long, dark days of prison camp, he has lived his life and parented his children with strength and dignity and a gentle love that spoke daily of his gratitude and appreciation. We can never measure the quiet hero this man was, the kindness and caring he showed the soldiers as they died around him, those whose lives he saved with his faith and determination. It is in this sense of hope, strength, and optimism in the face of the darkest despair that I would like us to take from today. How we manage our own hardships will define how we will shape the rest of our lives. My father was awarded the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart for his service. His wounds healed. He regained his physical health. He was reunited with his wife and baby daughter. They went on to raise 6 children, celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary, and has just celebrated his 90th birthday. I am very honored to have the privilege to introduce to you our World War II veteran and former POW, Dan Farchione.
Thank you, Pat. It's really been a pleasure. But before I begin, I would like to introduce to you a wonderful woman whose encouragement put me where I am today. She's a wonderful, courageous woman who's been on my side every step of the way. She's encouraged me, especially after I was diagnosed with post-traumatic syndrome, stress syndrome. I'd like to introduce you to the best friend and loving and loving wife, 69 years, me. There are many memories that are coming back to me. After all these years, and many memories that continue to affect me to this day. Now I appreciate every meal, every day, as I remember my prison diet that consisted of bread made sawdust instead of flour in sour cabbage. It wasn't sour cabbage. I remember that I imagined and helped others to imagine eating feast of their favorite food in order to stave off starvation. And this is how I survived. I am thankful to the German soldier who found me seriously wounded on the ground in the earthen fort. Rather than killing me, as others might have, he assisted me to my feet, and together we walked miles, not knowing where we were going, to the prison camp. And I still to this day, have no recollection of going up the hill to the prison camp. And I'm also thankful to Otto, a courageous German guard who smuggled a postcard home to my wife. All I could say and write was, I am a prisoner of war in Germany. And it was the first time she heard about where I was, not knowing day to day where I was. And I'm thankful for the love of my wife and family who gave me the hope and the strength to survive. We must always look to be thankful and to be thankful for our freedom. As horrific as my experiences of the battle on the battlefield and as a prisoner of the war were, it is but a glimpse of the impact. I know others have endured so much more. Soldiers have sacrificed so much to defend our freedom. Now my heart's desire is for the fighting to stop. We must look to hold peace in our lives with each other every day, so that one day our world will be at peace. You honor our soldiers by doing your best every day. It is so important to stay positive and to hope and faith. Believe in yourself and your dreams, and don't ever give up. God bless you.